Hi, family. Back at you once again. I was having some discussion with family and friends, talking about numerous topics, but we did get into the topic of politics, and we were talking about, the situation, you know, in Africa with Brother Ibrahim Traore and what is it, General Goita, and I forget the one that's the head of, I think it's Niger. But anyway, and along with the other leaders over there, um, and what it made me think about was how, we have, the U.S. and the European nations that want to come against Africa for what I call their God given gifts from the Creator, right? Under that land where the people, the first man was is documented from coming from the first woman and man, documented being born in Africa. God gave the greatest gifts to His children and the people of Africa, and it's like when we see the European nations, really greedy bastards that want to, uh, take control of what what belongs to the people of Africa, without giving anything or very little to compensate them for their thievery of stealing the gold and taking the gold and cobalt and uranium and so much other, precious minerals over there, And what it made me think about was like how, we see the soldiers over in Africa assembling and coming together to talk against, the European nations along with the U.S. The storm that is coming that way, and and then we take a look at um, the European nations, the U.S. pale-faced devils, I call them, and not all white people are bad people. I always put that disclaimer out there because it's not about me being racist. I'm just a realist. I'm watching the news. I'm doing my research, and the people that are coming against these African people are pale-faced, devils. Lusting for another man's, coveting what another man has. I see Traore and the other leaders over there are like modern day Moses. In the character of Moses, wanting to free their people from evil ruler, a person that cares nothing about them and see them as slaves, and but even deeper than that, I can't help but to look at the spiritual aspect of this here. These are people, God's children, who are living in Africa, wanting to, you know, live on their own, have their own sovereignty, grow as nations, become like a United Nations, a United States of Africa, something that Muammar Gaddafi was trying to assemble, and was doing great work with it, and they assassinated him, Barack Obama, right, and Hillary Clinton. But I can't help but to look at how the West, the people in the East have always said the United States is the home of Satan. And yes, we have our luxuries here, and I love America. But I gotta say, when I look at our behavior, now I'm not gonna say our behavior, I'm gonna say the leadership over here, who has been 99.9% white men running this country here in America. We got one guy for 8 years out of, what is it, 400 years. So, it's the people that's been running this country have all pale face, right? And it's like, And they have been acting as though devils when it comes to our people here in America, the way they've treated us, the atrocities that happen to African Americans here in America is so shameful that right now that they the powers that be want to shut down education because of their shame and their guilt, and they have no righteous answer to give to their own children about what they did to African Americans, why they did what they did to African Americans. And some of the evil things that they did to us is just too shameful for them, for their children to see one day and then have to reflect on their bloodline of evilness. And a lot of these children, these little white kids, that come from these pale-faced devils, some of them want to change the narrative, and they want to repent, and they want to apologize and do more than just that. They want to make things fair. However, the powers that be can't allow that, and that's because of a demonic spirit. Somewhere in the scriptures it talks about there will be a time where Satan will wander the earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're seeing right now. And that's what we've been seeing, over the years and stuff, especially over the last 100 years, this devil just going all over the world and with their guns and their bullets and their bombs, taking over. And I see Traoré in the people of Africa pleading for their independence, pleading for what God has given them, pleading and ready to fight. And I pray that they understand that when they fight, there will be death. But we have to think just like we do here in America, because we talk about we ain't going back. We have to keep in mind that we have to put freedom over fear. You understand? Every leader that ever stood up for us, whether it was Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, whoever. I think of Martin because a lot of people say he was nonviolent. But do you understand the violence that he went through every day? His wife answering the phone, and there's some pale-faced devil on the other line talking about, we're going to rip your head off, you black bee. We're going to rape you. And they're telling Martin, MLK, the same thing. We will rape your children. We will kill you. We will do this. We will do that. And every day this man had to get his composure, come back out and face us and the nation and the world as though that phone call never ever went down. You know what I'm saying? Talking about real leadership, talking about having a passion for what is right. Having a passion, whether you're going to die or not, you have to be willing and brave enough to keep doing what you have been chosen to do. You understand? And the people in Africa right now, these are them young people over there, because it's more young than it is old. I believe that they are ready to fight. I pray. But what we are about to witness is a showdown between good and evil. People of Africa ain't never did nothing to America. If anything, it has given to America its children, its gold, its precious minerals, and you name it. You understand? Until this day, as well as Europe. I mean, because America and Europe, listen, the same faces that have been running this country for the last 400 years, the same ones that came from over there. Like I said in an earlier, it's all connected. You understand? They are sisters, pale-faced devils, sisters, okay? And they're out for the same thing. They're bloodthirsty. As I said before, they're thirsty for blood and destruction as a fish is thirsty for water. And the thing about it, I just pray that God shows himself, and I believe he will. He will. This is a time of a David and Goliath. We are about to see something that I believe will be evidence for the unbelievers to believe that no matter who said they're in charge, God is always in charge. Till the next time.